Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua. I don't have any video on any fragrance for you today. I just want us to have a little chit chat, especially about Middle Eastern fragrances. I just want to put the question, what do you think about, or what does Middle Eastern fragrances mean to you? I know a lot of us here, we love fragrances. Most of our purchases are based off on our pockets, availability of funds, disposable income, and all those things, So a lot of people would simply not be able to afford a lot of high-end or luxury brands, the niche, the designers. At some point, even here in Ghana, for example, at some point, there are some celebrity fragrances which come across as luxury because of the prices, So in most instances, I think whatever our purchases is based on our pockets or our disposable income. I enjoy watching a lot of the niche, the niche fragrance group. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy the Bath and Body Works, the design. I just enjoy fragrances across board. Personally, I think I have one or two niche fragrances, about 2 or 3 designer fragrances, and quite a number of Middle Eastern fragrances. And those are solely based on my purchasing power. I don't have disposable income to be buying a lot of niche fragrances. If I had, probably I'll be buying like one every single day, So I don't have any issue with, people who are, termed as niche snobs, One of my favorite YouTubers, when it comes to fragrances is Eric, and I think his channel name is called Centrifugal. I'll just link his channel. I think I've seen him do, I think the only Middle Eastern fragrance that I have seen in his collection is Calumet Black. Probably I might be wrong, but that is the only Middle Eastern fragrance I have seen him talk about. Every single thing is like niche, and it's not like the affordable niche, it's like niche beyond my access, niche beyond like what I can ever imagine. However, I enjoy him because of the aura around him. I cannot relate to him when it comes to fragrances. We have nothing in common, I don't think I have any fragrance with him in common, but he's very relatable, However, I see other people who are also into other things, and for me, they are not really relatable, not because of the sort of fragrances they talk about, but sometimes the approach, I think my first experience of really getting pissed off by a fragrance enthusiast reviewer was last year. I was watching, I used to like her, it's a woman girl. I used to like her, from afar, watch her videos. And then she once did this video and she was like, oh, I was in Ghana and I saw this fragrance. It's a flanker of this very discontinued fragrance, and I got it for cheap because I think in Ghana, nobody knows what this fragrance is about, and I was able to grab it at a very cheap price. That day, I really got offended, and ever since, I don't know, ever since, I really don't see her in the same light, The whole thing came across as, I know she wasn't expecting to get the fragrance in Ghana, but I was like, that place, they are not supposed to have that, and they had it, and even people around didn't know what that fragrance was about, so she got it at a cheap price. I was a bit in my feelings, I don't know if I'm, allowed to be in my feelings, but I really was. I was like a bit disappointed in how she handled that. I think she could have handled it much more better. Apart from that, I've seen other people, speaking about fragrances and like Middle Eastern dupe fragrances in some light that I personally do not appreciate, I'm not like sour or anything, but sometimes when I watch them, it pisses me off. I have no problem people having disposable income. I don't have it. Personally, I don't have it. And I said, if I did, probably I would have done worse, Sometimes the comments, the classist sort of thing, it is there, no matter what however you look at it, the whole thing, elitist when it comes to fracom, and they are there. So I try personally to stay in my lane. I've seen a couple of people, that I like their channels, and then occasionally they'll pick up some Middle Eastern fragrances, and then later on they go like, oh, I just picked it up, because it was hype. I mean, we do that. We pick fragrances because they are hype. And then when they are discarding it off, how they go about it's like, oh, it's just a Middle Eastern fragrance, I'm not going to use it on myself. I guess bought it, because of the hype, and I wanted to compare it to my original. Sometimes they have the original. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it's like sometimes how they come up is like, I just did it because I wanted to see how it tastes, which is good, but I'm disposing it off because it is not for me. I don't wear Middle Eastern fragrances. I just bought it for reviews. There's nothing wrong with that, that no matter how you look at it, there's nothing wrong with that. You can buy the Middle Eastern fragrances or dupe fragrances just for reviews, compare it with your original fragrance and all those things. But sometimes there are thousands and millions of people that Middle Eastern fragrances is all they can afford. It is all they can afford, you understand? However, these same people are the same people subscribing to these niche designer fragrance channels just because we just enjoy watching them. Sometimes we are not, you guys sometimes cannot be relatable, but we still enjoy watching your videos because we like to learn, one or two. Oh, there's this niche fragrance called this, there's this designer fragrance called that. It is out of my reach. I cannot access it where I am locally. I even don't have the money, but I still enjoy you, I guess love. But if you make the same person who has probably subscribed to your channel, watch your videos, like them, and then you go like, I bought the fragrances that you use just to review it, and I'm just discarding because I personally do not use it on myself. I feel like it's substandard, whatever. Sometimes I just go like, it's the way we go about things, With the example of Eric that I gave, for me, Eric has the best collection ever. For me, he has the best collection ever. I don't think I would ever see anyone who has any sort of curated niche design. I don't think he even has some designer fragrances. It's like niche, like $500, $800 sort of niche fragrance. That's what I'm talking about. Not like 150, 250 niche fragrances. That is him. But I've never seen him in any, disrespectful way when it comes to other fragrances. I don't think, he just goes about his business and that's it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just my observation, my concern. Maybe someone might think I'm being sour. I don't really care what people's opinion are, but I just feel like you can just do what you feel comfortable doing. But just know that the same people that you are sort of indirectly telling them the fragrances that you use are not of my class, so I just bought it for my reviews. And most of the time, Middle Eastern fragrances, when you do videos on them, they do well. So people, just sort of do that, get the views, and then that's it. There is no problem with that, It's a numbers game. Get it however you feel comfortable doing it, But don't make people who rely solely on Middle East. There are people that cannot even afford one designer fragrance, It's a luxury. It's a luxury. Probably the only time he or she can save to buy designer fragrance is probably like his wedding day or her wedding day or some very important anniversary. So everything is all about Middle Eastern. And I think we just need to do certain things with some decorum, I would not want to offend someone, by my words. I wouldn't want to offend someone, but especially when it comes to fragrance, it's like, it's not the end of the world when it comes to fragrances. You understand? If you just lose every fragrance, would you not still exist? It's just something that we enjoy. Your pockets will determine which group you belong to. However, I have this profound, deep respect for everybody, when it comes to whichever category I find these fragrance enthusiasts or reviewers in, because clearly there is clearly a class, and you need to find yourself in one, or you need to associate with people you think you can really associate with. I also don't think people intentionally want to offend anyone. Probably they just say because that is them, that is what they are used to. They are sort of a little blindsided or blind by certain things. I don't want to use the term ignorant, probably, a lot of people are quite ignorant about certain things, especially when it comes to how people feel or how a segment of people feel in terms of certain, way, or however they are described, or however they are approached, or how they are, how they, you let them feel. Middle Eastern fragrances are great. They are not the best. No, I will not lie and say they are the best. I have some niche fragrances, and there is no way I will ever be able to say my Middle Eastern fragrances are better than my niche fragrances or some of the designer fragrances. Of course, you have some gems every now and then, but there is no way. There is no way, there's no way that you can compare Middle Eastern fragrances to niche fragrances. I guess so. There should be some decorum. I understand you have the disposable income to buy them. As I said, certain things I hear, it just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart because these dupe, fragrances are all. Okay. So I've also realized that when it comes to dupe, fragrances, even with dupes, there are some dupes which are highly regarded compared to any other thing is better except for Middle Eastern. It's like now a lot of people are really getting into Middle Eastern because there are a lot of hype, and as I said, people get their views because they, when you do Middle Eastern fragrance reviews, you get like much more views than some of the designer and niche, so a lot of people are getting into that. It is your own business, your own cup of tea as to whether you want to in real life use these fragrances on you or not. It is your own life, but just don't let people feel bad about the only thing they have access to, the only thing they can afford. It is very difficult, when it comes to the market for Middle Eastern fragrances, the larger markets for Middle Eastern fragrances, these are like for second world, third world, most of the time, because that is what we can afford. So niche is like way beyond some of us our means. Even if I had the money for niche fragrances, probably I will not, So all I'm just trying to say is I like a lot of fragrance channels. I cannot relate to a lot of them simply because of how some of them go about their business. I'm not the one to correct them or to tell them how to go about their business, but I guess feel like a lot of your audience, sometimes you even read their comments and the people go like, I just enjoy a video, but I cannot even afford anything on your list. That is what I'm trying to say. So if such a person is saying, I enjoy your videos, but I can't afford anything on your list, and then the person has some dupe fragrances, and then you go like, you just make it feel like it's so inferior, and your designer or your niche fragrance is the only thing superior. And of course, it's superior, on paper, but I don't know. I don't know. That's all I have for you. I guess I'm food for thought, Probably if you happen to chance upon this channel and you think you have something to contribute, that's fair. But if not, I hope nobody is offended. I mean, even if you're offended, this is my thought. This is my opinion. That is what I think, So my name is Ajwa, and I hope this video found you well. Please let me know in the comment section your truest perception or what you think about Middle Eastern fragrances. Are they like something that you consider like the real deal, or you just get them as testers? For me, sometimes I guess get them as testers. I even recommend that people get them as testers if they are trying to look for the real thing, and probably sometimes you get them as testers and they remain the number one option, so that is all I have for you today, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye.